Hello, welcome to the Kuvings Healthy Kitchen. My name's Gary Dowse. I'm in the kitchen today. I have the E8000 professional cold press juicer, and we're going to do a masterclass, show you guys exactly what this machine can do. It's not just a juicer, guys. It can make sorbet, it can make ice cream, we're going to make some hummus today. We're going to make a milkshake, we're going to do some nut milk, and of course we're going to make some juice. So with a cold press juicer, Kuvings has the ability to change the strainer that you put inside of the machine. So whether you're making a juice or whether you're making a smoothie or maybe you're making an ice cream, you can just swap the attachment out and then make what you want to make. So before I get started today, I've got some juggling balls sitting here. I'm going to show you guys, I've got a little bit of a story to tell you to get started with. Over lockdown, living in Melbourne as I was, I thought I might need to write a book and put some of the recipes that I'd created for Kuvings down. And so I created a book called The Juice Chef. You can see that on the side here. But I also taught myself how to juggle. So I want to see if I can do it for you guys and show you what I learnt in lockdown. Okay, here goes. Now remember, I've only just started, right? So, hey, not too bad. What do you think? Now, the reason I did that was because I found out that actually juggling is actually quite healthy. It actually creates left and right brain hemisphere neural pathways that focus on memory. It's really good to learn to juggle for memory. So things like Alzheimer's and dementia, I think you should get out and start juggling. The other thing I found about with juggling is that it's fun. It taps you into that creative child energy that I think we all need a bit more of in these last couple of years. And that is leading me to the first recipe I'm going to make for you guys today, which is a banana and walnut ice cream to bring out that child in every one of us. Now, I've got the juicer here. Let me put these strainers to the side. Inside the juicer, we're going to start with the sorbet making strainer. This is the blank strainer, and let me show you how easy it is. Just a couple of parts, pop in the strainer, pop in the press, and then the lid goes on top. So now we're ready, not making juice, we're going to make some ice cream. So let me show you guys. I've got some frozen banana here, and I've got some walnuts. So with your bananas, you just want to take them out the freezer. What I like to do is just put them in the freezer whole. Overnight, they're perfectly okay. And then take them out about 10 minutes or so before you go to make the recipe. That way, they're just soft enough to easily go through the juicer. So let me turn the machine on. And all you need to do, just break them in half, pop them in, and you'll see that the machine, because it's a cold press juicer, it's just pressing and squeezing. I want to put in a few nuts as well and just alternate. A few walnuts, a little bit of banana. You see it starting to come out here. Hopefully you can grab that on the camera there. And look at how easy it is to actually make ice cream using your cold press juicer. So a few more walnuts. Now, I started off talking about the brain and juggling and for memory. Well, guess what, guys? Walnuts is also extremely beneficial for the brain. It has a great balance of omega-3, 6 and 9 fatty acids. If you've ever looked at a walnut up close, it has a shell like your head, like your brain, like your skull, and then inside it looks like it's got right and left hemispheres, doesn't it? So nature is always telling us, giving us these little signs about what the ingredient is good for. A little bit more walnut. Have a look how much I've made, guys. That's 4 bananas there, maybe about half a cup of walnuts. And I think we've got a fair bit there. I'll just wipe this down. Okay, let me turn it off and show you guys. Okay, what have I got here? Let me bring this out. Let me just show you exactly how easy. There we go, nice scoop of ice cream. Perfect. Let's do a little bit of chef stuff here. So we'll put the few bananas, a little sprinkle of walnuts on top. And you can make so many different varieties of ice cream using different fruits, different combinations, berries, and I think the kids will love it, and I know you're going to love it. Let me grab a spoon. Okay, how about the taste test, shall we? It's always the sign, right? It's really creamy. And you get that little bit of a crunch coming through from the banana as well. I like this recipe. I'll pop it over here. Maybe some of the crew might want to come and finish it off for me. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, we're going to switch from making the banana ice cream over to making a cashew nut milk, because yes, you can make nut milks in a cold press juicer. We just need to change the headset. Now I'm not going to bore you guys by cleaning the machine and showing you how it's done. I'm just going to take the headset off because we can pop it off, and I'm going to replace it with, now we've got the juice strainer in there. So the juice strainer is the gold one that comes with the E8000, so we've popped that into the machine. Let me show you. So when we're making nut milk, we want to put the wipers in, the rotation wipers. We've got the juice strainer, and of course we have the press. 3 parts that sit in the middle of the juicer and closing it up. So this is why we love using a cold press juice machine, because of the different recipes and combinations that you can make using your juicer. So let's have a look at making a nut milk. Now with whatever nut milk you want to make, you can do almond nut milk, you can do Brazil nuts, you can do hazelnuts. I'm going to do cashew nuts today because I really like cashew nuts as a milk. All you have to do, guys, just soak your nuts overnight. Easiest way to do it, just soak them overnight. If you forget to soak them overnight, of course, what you can do, just put them into some warm water, and then maybe about 1 hour or so, then they'd be ready to go to make the milk. The other thing, other little tip here for you is that you can, it doesn't matter how long you soak your nuts for. So it could go for 2 days, even up to 3 days if you forget. It's still perfectly okay to use them when you're going to make your nut milk. Okay, so let me show you how easy and simple it is to make some nut milk. So I've got some water, I've got some cashew nuts. Now, when you soak your cashew nuts, don't use the water that you used to soak them with. Pour that aside, get some fresh filtered water, and that fresh filtered water is what you want to use to make your nut milk. If you want it a little bit sweeter, you could pop in a couple of dates without the pip, and that will give it a little bit of sweet taste as well. So let's get started. Handful of nuts. You can see how easy it is just to start feeding the machine. It's crushing and pressing the nuts. Now this time what's happening is the meal, the nut meal, which you can use for cooking or baking, is coming out one side, and the juice, the milk, will come out the other side. So a handful of nuts, a little bit of water, handful of nuts, a little bit of water. That's it, guys. Really simple, really easy. A bit more water in there. And guess what? As a chef, you love to control all the ingredients. And for you at home, you can mix it however you like. If you want a 2-to-1 ratio, do 1 cup of milk to 2 cups of water. If you want it a bit thicker, let's go 1 cup to 1 cup. If you want it thinner, put 4 cups in. It's totally up to you. But what you'll notice is that when you buy nut milks in the store, they may be 4%, 9%, 10% if you're lucky. So you can get a lot more of the nutrition of the nuts into the milk. I'll just grab another container to catch this milk in. Now look how much I've got there already. Nearly 400 mils of nut milk. And that's about half a cup of cashews and maybe 1 cup of water. All right, I'll just put a few more in. Let's just fill that bowl right up. Okay, so now keeping it all in the juicer, the advantage of a cold press juicer from Kuvings, the professional one, you got this smart cap, keep it closed, and then just when you're ready, you can release the milk. Look at that, guys, fantastic. Release the milk. Now that's going to last 4 to 5 days in the fridge. You can make up a batch of a litre or however much you want to make at a time. And let me just pour it into the bottle for you. Can you see that milk? Now I don't know if you've made any nut milk before at home. Most of the people, when you make nut milk, you use a blender, right? Or use a food processor or a different machine that's going to blend it all up. And then you have to use a nut milk bag to squeeze out the nut milk so that you're extracting the milk from the pulp. When you use a cold press juicer, the Kuvings one specifically, it's already got the strainer in there for you. So when you're making the milk, you don't need the nut milk, you don't need all the extra work to try and squeeze out and get your final product. So simple, let's do the taste test, shall we? The other thing you'll notice about when you have a cold press juicer to make your nut milk, there's no frothiness from the fast spinning metal blades. When you use a blender, it spins really fast, creates a vortex, and you get more of a aerated nut milk. This is really creamy and smooth, and I think it's going to work great in the next recipe that we're going to make. So let me put that aside. I'll just do a little bit of cleaning up here. Hope you're staying with me and enjoying these recipes. We've got another couple to do for today's masterclass. I want to use the cashew nut milk that I've made, and we're going to make a milkshake. Yes, in the juicer, let's go and make a milkshake. So I'll swap that one out, and I'm going to bring over, for now, I've got the third attachment in here, guys. That is the smoothie maker attachment. So again, same as the juicer, just pull the juice strainer out, put in the smoothie, and you want to use the rotation wipers again. Okay, so you do use it with juice, you use it with the smoothie maker, you don't use them with the sorbet maker. Okay, pop that in there, make sure it's locked in place, put the press in, and we're ready to go. Now, we've got a little offer for you guys today. Those that are watching this live link, all the accessories, there are about $200 worth of accessories that come with the Kuvings juicer. We're going to offer them free, so stay around to the end of the show and I'll give you the full package deal of how you can get everything that I'm using today for free. We've even got, check out this, guys, this is a citrus juice attachment. So that's going to pop on there, and I'll show you a bit later how simple it is to make some orange juice with the Kuvings juicer. So, right, now, we're ready to make some milkshake, okay? When you use a cold press juicer, as I mentioned before, no metal blades spinning fast, no oxygen getting sucked into the smoothie, you're going to find that this cold press milkshake is going to have more flavour, more nutrition, because it's not getting oxidized from the fast spinning metal blades and the air. So let me show you. Simple and easy. We've got some strawberries there. We've got a banana. I'm going to do banana, strawberry and cashew nut milk. All right, so let's pop that on. Same with the strawberries, as I mentioned with the bananas. They're frozen. I'm going to use frozen because I want a little bit of cold texture coming through with the milkshake. You could use fresh, of course, but this one I'm going to try with a frozen. So let's start with putting a handful in. Okay, banana, let me just get this going. One of the things about making a milkshake, a smoothie with a cold press juicer, you just need to take a little bit more time. All right, so it's just squeezing and pressing, remember? It's got no blades cutting things up. So it just takes a little bit of time just to push it through. And now we want to put the milk in. So a little bit of banana, a little bit of strawberry, and then pop in the milk. And you'll see it's starting to press and go through the juicer. Now, let me just clean up a little bit here. Now, a bit more strawberry. And you'll see what happens is, once I release it, it's going to start pushing that milk through the press, through the strainer. It's a bit thicker than the juice strainer. And get a lovely milk out of it. A little bit more. So, let me have a look. We've got some more strawberries. They've gone a bit soft. Okay, push them through. Now we're starting to get some juice coming through. What about strawberries? Why do I love strawberries? And I spoke before about how walnuts look like the brain with the left and right hemispheres. Well, strawberries are really good for your heart. Think about them. They're little, they're red, they're in the shape of a heart. And when you take strawberries, they're really good for nutrition for your heart. So when you're squeezing and pressing them through the juicer, you're getting so much more nutrition, guys. So much more of the flavour that comes through. I've got a question coming through here. Yep. Can I use fresh strawberries? Yes, I think I mentioned that before. Of course, you can use fresh strawberries in this recipe. I like to use the frozen ones because I just want that milkshake to be a little bit colder as well. So pop some more in, a little bit more milk. Now you can see it coming through there. As I said to you before, it does take a little bit longer than if you're using a fast spinning blender to whip it up in, a minute or two. But what you'll find is the different consistency, the different flavour, the different taste. I'm sure you're going to love it. You can't, of course, put seeds and blend them up. You're not putting protein powders in, you're not putting oils in, you're not putting the different things that you might put into a smoothie. We've got the Kuvings blender happening here in the background, but you are getting maximum nutrition. Okay, so let me just close that one up. So I've got a glass here, let's have a look. Look how thick that is, guys. There's no air, there's no bubbles. And again, it's up to you how much ratio you put of the banana, of the strawberries, of the milk. Depends on how consistent you're going to get it. Let me have a look. I've got a straw here. Okay, little taste test here, shall we? Oh yeah, the strawberry flavour is so vivid. And look at the colour from a couple of handfuls of strawberries. It's amazing the different flavour and texture that you get when you use your cold press juicer. All right, so I'm going to pop this one aside for the guys that can enjoy that. And I'll just do a little quick clean up here before we move on and make the next juice. So what we haven't made yet, we'll just pop that to the side. I want to make now something that you probably didn't think you could make in a cold press juicer. We're going to make a chili hummus. Yep, a chili hummus. Now normally when you make a hummus at home, you might use a blender or a food processor. You put your chickpeas in, you put in some lemon juice, you put in some salt, some garlic, and you pour oil into it to make it blend and mix up. With the cold press juicer, we're able to make a chili hummus without the oil. So for those of you who follow a plant-based diet and are looking to remove fats and oils from your diet, then this recipe is a no oil, fat-free chili hummus. So let's get into it, shall we? I'll swap this headset over. Again, magic of having a couple of extra headsets. So pop that one on, and now we've got the blank sorbet. It's what Kuvings calls the sorbet strainer, okay? But we're going to make some hummus with this one. All right, let me get some of the ingredients that I need. So we've got our chickpeas. I'm going to use a bit of the Aquafaba, a little bit of the juice. When you strain your chickpeas, make sure you keep a little bit of that water. I want a little bit of lemon juice. I've got some lemons over here we can use. A little bit of lemon, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of garlic powder. All right, so first thing you want to do, we've got a little bit of prep to do here first, guys. So hopefully you can see it here. Let me pop it up there. Okay, so we've got our can of chickpeas. I'm going to put a little bit of that water over it. Perfect. I'm going to add some lemon juice to the chickpeas. So we're just going to squeeze some lemon juice there. I might squeeze a little bit extra. There we go, perfect. I've got a bin right here. Okay, now a little bit of flavour, so I want a little bit of garlic powder. And then I want a little bit of sea salt as well. Okay, so that's my preparation ready to make the cold press chili hummus. So let's turn on the machine, shall we? I've got a spoon here somewhere. So let's just mix that up so we get all those flavours ready to go. Okay, now with the E8000 professional juicer, it has this flip gate lid. All right, so I can just use my spoon and get a little bit of all the ingredients, pop them into the top, and it's going to catch it and self-feed for me. So you'll see it starting to press. I'll just grab. Okay, so we want to be able to catch that when it starts coming out. A little bit more. And you'll see the hummus, guys, look at this, starting to come out of the juicer. Did you ever think you could make hummus in a juicer? Well, that's what we love about Kuvings and the extra attachments. Again, take your time, don't overfeed the machine. I know it's there and it's just tempting to want to just pop it in, but if you take your time and go a bit slower, you'll get it coming out just as smoothly as it's coming out now. Can you see that? Perfect. We might as well finish it all off. Pop it in. Couple more. All right, now, hey, you could do, I've got another question coming in here. Can I add oil into this as I'm making it? No, great question. No, look, you can't put oil into the machine as you're making it. It's not designed to have oil put through the strainer. And the reason that we're making it in the juicer is because we want that fat-free version of the chili hummus. You know, we eat so much fat, guys. We get up in the morning, you'll have, you know, people are having bacon and eggs, they're having yogurts, avocado, so much fat in our diets right from the minute you wake up. And then at lunchtime, you know, you're grabbing a burger, or having chips, or you're having different things. Even if you're eating salad, you're still putting a lot of fat dressings and stuff all over it. And then of course at night you're sitting down, maybe having a roast chicken or whatever, and you might feel like you're being healthy, but what you're doing is just consuming too many fats. Every single meal, 365 days a year, let me tell you what happens. When the fat gets into your bloodstream, it slows the bloodstream down. And how important is our bloodstream? You know, all the nutrients that we're gonna eat from these beautiful fruits and vegetables here, they're supplying nutrients, phytonutrients, vitamins, enzymes, minerals to our cells, right? So our bloodstream is literally the transportation system for all the nutrients. How well do you need your transportation system working? You want it to be delivering well, you want it to be flowing well, and when you get too many fats, it slows it down. As it slows down, we're not getting the same amount of oxygen, we're not getting the same amount of nutrition being delivered to our brain, to our lungs, to our heart, to our cells for function. So I'm a really big fan, if we can, reduce We don't have to not eat any fat, right? But if we can reduce it, we can really get the health benefits. And this is one great way to do that. Let's pop this in here. So I'll pop that to the side. So I'll just close that. You got a spoon again. Yeah, we got a spoon, perfect. So I'm just gonna mix that a little bit. Pour that, look at that guys. Fat-free hummus. Perfect. And now all I need to do, all I want to do is, I want a little bit of flavour still on that one. If you've got some cayenne pepper or some sweet or smoked paprika, it goes really well with the hummus. And there we go. Chili hummus made in a cold press juicer. Let's do the taste test. I've got some crackers, we've got some celery, we've got some cucumber. Now, guys, here's a little tip, right, from the juice chef. When you're cutting up your cucumber for using with dips, cut it into crackers. Cucumber crackers, I call them. So easy. Yeah, good. I like chili, so a little bit more cayenne for me, but I think that it's going to be really good. The crew will love it, I'm sure. Here you go, guys. All right, so let's have a little look at what we've made so far, guys. We've made banana and walnut ice cream. Yes, in the juicer. We've made a nut milk. We made cashew nut milk. We then used that nut milk and we made a milkshake, a strawberry banana milkshake. We then just made, right now, the chili hummus in the juicer. I think it's time now to maybe make some juice. What do you reckon? So let's throw this one aside and we'll bring our juice one back on. But before we do the juicer, let me show you this one. So this one's the citrus attachment. Again, making life easier, getting more plant-based nutrition is what Kuvings is all about. And hey, healthy at the same time. Okay, so that's just simple. It sits on, you've probably all seen the old school where you use your hands and squeeze out some juice. Well, this one is going to have a bit of power on it. So see when I press down, it spins for me and does the work for me. So I've got some oranges here. Show you how easy it is just to start making orange juice. If you're getting up in the morning and you just want an orange juice, you don't want to use the whole juicer and you just want to squeeze out the flesh, then this is the way to do it. Get this attachment and you'll find how simple and easy it is. Now, what I want to do is show you, I've got another one over there before I finish. Okay, so this way, when we use this attachment, we're juicing the flesh. We're just juicing the flesh. If I use the juicer to make the orange, then what I want to do is we want to remove the orange peel because we don't want that going through the juicer. It's too bitter taste. It's going to ruin the taste of your juice. But what you want to do is leave on that white outside pith because that white pith has lots of nutrients. And so if you're using your juicer to make orange juice, leave that white outside pith on. If you want quick and fast and you just want the flesh, then use the attachment to make it. Okay, so let me pop that one aside. We'll put the juicer on, strainer back on. Okay, so now we're ready, of course, to make some juice. So today I want to show you one more step. With the juicer, with the cold press juicer, it also has this little strainer which will fit over the, fits neatly inside the juicing jug. And so if you're juicing celery first thing in the morning and it has to be strained before you juice it, if you're following Anthony Williams and Medical Medium and juicing the celery juice, you want to make sure you strain it every morning. Then this little attachment fits right over there, and as we release the juice, it's going to strain it for you. If you like a little bit more pulp in your juice, then you don't have to use it. But again, inside the machine, our strainers, the cold press juicer, especially the professional model, is already straining the juice for you. Thank you. It's already straining the juice for you, of course. So there's very, very little pulp left in it anyway. But if you want that absolute extra strainage, then that attachment is a great little extra attachment. Okay, so what are we going to make for our juice here? Let's do something green, shall we? I think we'll do a green juice. One from my book, actually. This one I call workout juice. The reason I call it workout juice, it has the perfect balance of minerals, potassiums, electrolyte, magnesium, for using either before you go to workout or for after you finish the workout to replace those electrolytes that you used. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about cucumber, talking about celery. We're going to put in some apple and we're going to top it off with some lemon. All right, so let me show you how to prep with the cold press juicer. With apples, right, they'll fit in whole. Kuvings is the only one where you can put a whole apple straight into the machine and juice it in a cold press juicer. With the cucumbers, we're just going to chop those into little chunks so that they fit through the machine. And with the celery, everyone always asks me about celery juicing in the machine. How easy is it to juice celery? Well, celery has, I'll just crack it here. Look, it's got this long, stringy, fibrous tissue that runs down the spine of the celery, right? If you put the celery in whole like this, that is going to wrap around the press, okay? So it'll still juice, it'll still do the job, but what will happen is it'll make it a mess to clean. And if you're juicing a lot of celery juice, a litre or so, then you might have to clean it before you even finish juicing the litre. We don't want to do that. So the simple, easiest way, guys, is to grab your knife and just run it across the stalk of the celery. Simple, easy. And I think the best way to determine the width of a thumb, right? The width of a thumb is the width you want to do it. Let me show you why. Because of the strainer, right? The strainer at the bottom, the exit hole where the pulp is going to come out from is about that width. So that's a little tip on how you do it. With the leaves, do you juice them? Do you not juice them? That's going to be up to you, but they have a really bitter flavour. So if you've not drunk celery juice before, I say maybe let's not use those, put them in the compost, but you certainly can juice them if you want. Let's have a look. What else do we need to do here? A little bit more prep. Got the cucumber. With the lemon, do we leave the skin on or do we take the skin off? Really simple, guys. Again, your choice. You can juice the skin. It adds a really nice, zesty lemon flavour to it. It's not like orange. With the orange skin, you really got to take it off. It's just too bitter. You're not going to like it. But when you use the lemon, it has a really nice flavour. I like it, so I'm going to leave it on for this juice. What I am going to do is, you're not going to put the whole lemon straight into the juicer like that. The reason is because as it's squeezing and pressing that whole lemon, you can imagine it squeezing and pressing, juice is going to get caught in there, all right? And then it's going to have to try to push the pulp out. If we just cut it in a couple of slices, we'll get maximum amount of juice, right? Maximum amount of flavour, and I don't have to use as much. Literally one slice of lemon is enough to flavour this whole juice. So let's have a go. Just turn the machine on. We've got the juicing strainer in there, check. Now, order of ingredients can be important because you normally want to put the softer stuff in first. So let's start with the cucumber. I'm just going to pop the cucumber in. You'll see the machine starting to press and squeeze the juice. Again, allow the time for the juicer to do the work. There's a reason that you've invested in a cold press juicer. It's because it has more nutrition, it extracts more juice, but you just got to let it do the job. Okay, let's do the celery next. So have a look at this, guys. Whilst I can't put the whole stalk, or I don't want to put the whole stalk straight down, I can put a nice big handful straight into the machine, and it'll pull it in and squeeze it through. Again, look, nice big handfuls. I've got about 4 stalks here that I'm running through. You want to just, rinse them under the tap, give them a bit of a wipe over, make sure they're nice and clean. And you can see how easy and how quickly that has juiced 4 stalks of celery. Have a look. I've got nearly 400 mils of juice already, guys. That's the amazing from a cold press juicer. I don't know if you can see on here, guys, on the camera, if it's coming through, but that's the pulp. It's coming out nice and dry, right? There's no juice left in that pulp. So again, advantages of having cold press juicer. Okay, apples, chuck them in. How good is it to use a juicer, a cold press machine, and not have to cut it up into a lot of other machines? They need to be cut into small little pieces so that you can push it in, and then you've got to use the plunger, right, to push it down and get it through. Whereas with the self-feeding mechanism, I can literally chop the whole apple in and it'll squeeze and press it for me. Now, one more coming here. Let's let the juice out, just in the nick of time. I've got so much juice going already, but I want to put the lemon in. We'll do that right last, so let's get that lemon in. I might put a bit extra, let's put 2 in. Feeling lemony today. Okay, what about a bottle? Turn that off. Have a look at that, guys. Look at the colour, look at the green, right? Just from a couple of ingredients. Now the advantage, what other advantages are there? With a cold press juice, I can put this in the fridge and I can keep it for 3 days. 3 days, 4 days, the lemon helps to keep it fresh because it hasn't oxidized, it hasn't been burnt, it hasn't had that fast spinning metal blades that are in a normal juicer. So we can keep it fresh. Most of the time when you make a juice and you've got one of those cheaper machines, those older style centrifugal machines, there's no way you can keep the juice. It's just going to oxidize, it'll go brown, those apples is going to go really brown really quick, whereas this is going to stay nice and green. Pop it in the fridge. At home, I will always make up, 3 or 4 of these bottles, pop them in the fridge, and then throughout the day you've got the juice ready to go. So let's have a little look. Taste test. It's always important to do the taste test, right? Oh my God. So well balanced with flavour. Not too sweet. A little bit of tang from the lemon. And really refreshing, really hydrating. Celery and cucumber mixed together with the apples. Fantastic after you've done a workout, which is why I've called it workout juice. I think you're going to love this one. I hope you've got some value from today's class, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. We've got a few more of these masterclasses coming up in the future. We're going to do some different work with different machines, make a whole heap of different recipes. I'm totally excited by it all. I hope you are too. That's it from me.